Well, the day's finally here. 1,000 planets and a whole universe to explore. Where to go first?
Guess we're going on a holiday. I'll bring my friend.
I choose this as our goal.
Creatures of none.
I can't believe it's you standing here next to me.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Starfield presents the player with a vast, seemingly limitless universe that feels like any Bethesda fan's wet dream, and I've so far amassed a grand total of 24 hours of playtime since the game's release about a day ago. But I thought, hey, why let that stop me from giving my thoughts on a game that I most definitely haven't played nearly enough of in order to provide any substantial review of any kind. And hey, I think it might be interesting just to see how or if my opinion changes after a few months of playing the game. When I first booted up the game, I didn't really know what I was expecting. I was excited that I was finally going to experience a new Bethesda game for the first time again. But it wasn't until maybe 5 or 6 hours into the game when one moment really hit me. After not wanting to hand over some contraband I'd acquired on an enemy ship, I racked up a bounty with the United Colonies and narrowly escaped grav jumping to the dark side of some random moon in another star system. And as I landed and stepped out of my nearly destroyed ship to see where exactly I ended up, it was the simple moment of the sun rising over the starred horizon and Enon Zur's powerful score roaring atop it that gave me the feeling that I remember I got playing Skyrim as a kid. It wasn't that anything particularly incredible happened, but it's that without even trying, the Bethesda formula of these random timing of events allowed me to experience my own story that wasn't a part of a scripted quest or a cutscene, and it's those moments that really immerse you and stick with you long after you've beaten the main questline or killed the biggest alien. Despite the vastness of Starfield, to its core, it feels like a Bethesda RPG, and dare I say with only 24 hours of playtime, maybe even one of the better ones. There is nothing quite like landing on a planet after searching 10 others and looking out over a view and being like, yeah, that's going to be my base. Or accidentally getting sidetracked while walking to an objective and somehow stumbling into one of the more interesting side quest lines I've seen in a Bethesda game. Somehow, one of mine and many others' biggest fears for Starfield, that being the fact that it is a new universe with no established lore, turned out to be one of its stronger features. Finding out what happened from the time humans were on Earth up to the time when we start Starfield has been really interesting, with big wars and events that make me wish we could have seen them play out in-game. Starfield feels powerful when it's supposed to be powerful, but honestly its tone reminds me more of Oblivion. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but also leaves room for you as the player to create memorable moments that feel like you are really the type of character you're trying to build. While the main tone and the feel of the game is the most important part, for the second half of this video, I thought it would be nice just to go over 5 aspects of Starfield that as of now I'm really liking, in no particular order. Number 1. Gravity. This was something I was really interested in before the game's release, and I'm glad to report it's really fun. No matter what planet you're on, you're going to experience a different gravity level, which means your approach to all aspects of gameplay is going to be different. On one planet, you might have a pretty Earth standard gravity level, meaning gameplay is as you would expect. But then on another, it might be 2/10 the gravity, which means things like stealth, general exploration, gunplay, and just how the objects fly around is all going to require you to adapt a different approach. Number 2. Mantling. I've been asking for this in Bethesda games for so long, and thank God they finally added it to their games. It's such a simple, ease of life thing, but having the ability to actually grab onto ledges and whatnot to climb up has removed so much of the jank that previous Bethesda games suffered with in their movements and navigation. It makes exploration better, it makes you not feel like you're spamming jump all the time just to climb up into places you shouldn't, and I think after playing so much Skyrim and Fallout 4, I'm just glad to see us having some standard features that catch Bethesda up to modern first-person games. Number 3. Ships. As expected, ships really feel personal, and I'm super looking forward to not being a pauper anymore so I can build the biggest, most badass ship possible. Creating your own is fun, stealing other people's is fun. Everything about ships in this game is just great, and if you delve into it a bit, you really do start to feel attached to your ship, and I foresee playing around with the different ship builder options can result in some very cool looking vessels that can complement your character's build. It feels great to upgrade a ship and fill it with crew, and it's one of the parts of the game I'm having the most fun with. Number 4. Planets. Planets are obviously a really cool part of Starfield, and from the few I've discovered and explored so far, I just love how many different biomes, weathers, and encounters you can find. There are cool landing spots on most planets, but I love the fact that if you want, you can just pick any spot and land wherever you want and explore. Some of the places I've found and the vistas I've encountered are breathtaking, and it's one of the most fun parts of the game for me to traverse unexplored star systems to see what crazy creatures or biomes I can find throughout. And it even differentiates between different land formations depending on where you choose to land. For example, if you pick somewhere really close to the coast, it will change the type of landmass that you land on, compared to somewhere more central. Number 5. Space exploration. And the final thing that I found incredibly cool so far is simply exploring space. Yes, sure you can jump from planet to planet, but there are some really neat things located in space too, like this strangely ghost-like abnormal shipping yard that is just floating in orbit in the Volley star system. It is just an indescribable feeling stumbling upon things like this and being like, that looks strange, let's dock and check it out. And then you proceed to go through a dungeon suspended in the middle of space. I really feel like things like this is what sets Starfield apart from other BGS games, and I really cannot wait to just keep playing again. And that's my initial 24-hour thoughts on Starfield. I'm so looking forward to making a bunch more videos as we discover more about the game, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.